we are moving on to our last lesson of this unit. And it is just an enrichment lesson in regards to reflection. What you can do today, you can reflect shapes across a given line of symmetry, but more specifically across the lines y equals x and y equals negative x. This is connecting it to Unit 8 when we talk about directly proportional relationships. And if you recall, directly proportional is any straight line that goes through the origin. That's what these two things are. They represent a directly proportional relationship. Y equals x is a straight line that increases through the origin. What I do when I make it is make a dot at all the diagonals through the origin. Now let me tell you, if you get confused about like, hey, where do I put the dot? Well, if the equation is y equals x, when x is 1, y is 1. When x is 2, y will be 2. When x is 3, y is 3. And then in the other direction, when x is negative 1, so will y be. When x is negative 2, y will be negative 2. And then you can get your pattern going and extend it. And this is the line y equals negative x. Or just kidding, y equals x. So, instead of graphing along axes today, we are graphing along a diagonal line. Or not graphing, we are translating along a diagonal line. Y equals negative x is a line through the origin that goes down. So it's falling down. I always start at the origin. And then if you're confused on where to put your first dot before you get in the zone of the pattern, I would say, okay, well, if x is 1, then y would be negative 1. If x is 2, y would be negative 2. And now I feel confident with the diagonal that I am making. Then in the other direction, if x is negative 1, then y is going to be positive 1. And you can go along that diagonal, connect them, and you will also use this line, y equals negative x, as a reflection point today. So if it's negative, it means it's falling down. You go left to right. If it's positive, you're going to use the one that goes up. Okay? All right, this first one here, let's go ahead and graph triangle ABC with the given vertices. So I'm going to pause the video and take a minute and graph. Okay, so I went ahead and graphed triangle ABC, and I noticed that I want to reflect over the line y equals x. So I need to create that line. Y equals x, if you forget, it's the line, the first one, through the origin that goes up. So I want to create the line through the origin that goes up. So I will do that. I'm going to make it red. So when x, it always goes through the origin. And then when x is 1, so is y. When x is 2, y is 2. When x is 3, y is 3. And it just follows that diagonal. And I just make a lot of points until I see that I can draw a straight line. And that is the line I'm going to use as my line of symmetry. And now imagine flipping it over that line. So now I'm going to flip it. It's different than what we've done before. What we used to do, also known as yesterday, we count how many points or how many lines away it was from the line of symmetry. So we'd say C is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So C prime needs to be 5. But imagine, does that look anywhere near being right? If you were to flip this, C prime does not go up there. Flipping it, it looks like C prime should go that way. So notice that the lines are a diagonal. Then what you want to do is count diagonal. Okay, so your eyes are going to get a little grumpy at you today because they're going to kind of all start smushing together. But instead of counting, the units away, we are now, since it's a diagonal line, we're going to count how many diagonals. So here I go. Here's C. I want to know how many diagonals away from y equals x is c. So 1, 2, 0.5 diagonals. Okay? Then guess what? C prime is going to be 2.5 diagonals away. So here's 0.5, 1, 2 diagonals. This is C prime. A is a half of a diagonal away. So A prime is going to be a half of a diagonal away. Notice mine is, it looks more like 3/4 here, but it should be 0.5 away. B is 0.5 diagonal away. So B prime is going to be 0.5 diagonal away. And if you graph it, you should be able to notice that if you imagine flipping this, it should match up.